friends? Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Because without you guys, this certainly would be no fun. But I'd still be down here talking about what else? The Dallas Cowboys. Sorry, how about them Cowboys? You're actually second. Lewis Buckley was just beat you to the punch. Jack Duncan, how you doing, man? Robert A. Man, thank everybody for joining me. Easy 27. The gear to my left, well, that's actually a Dallas Cowboy flag from my daughter. She ended up sending to me, got lost in the mail, and it came in late. But, I tell you what, I think it looks perfect over there. Although, the thing that my wife always says is, I have too much stuff. She said, she likes seeing white places on the wall. And I'm kind of like, everything that I have here means something to me. It's got a memory about the Dallas Cowboys, be it a ticket from a Washington Redskin Dallas game or the Super Bowl seat cushions that are over there, or all of Joe Boo's stuff. To me, everything has a lot of value. She, on the other hand, says when she looks at the screen and everything here that it's too busy, that, you don't focus in on me. And I said, that's the point. I'm an old, ugly guy. I don't want people focusing in on me. I'd like them to focus in on all the other stuff. And maybe they won't notice that I've got all these cat claws or crow's feet or whatever they call them and things here. But how is everybody doing tonight? It is Monday night. We are here talking about our favorite team, the Dallas Cowboys. And I know you guys are all addicts like me and can't wait to get our football fix. The great thing, we've gone past another weekend without football. We are less than 4 weeks away from training camp starting, and I can't believe how quickly this offseason is going. How are you doing tonight, Jackie? Jaylon Smith, FR3SH914. Can't you just get a name? That'd be a little easier. Alan, Jack Duncan, Robert A. Man, Eric Olson, Super Bowl or bust. Hey, I agree with you on that one because when we start looking at, and we just found out that Zeke Elliott is number 7, the highest ranked rookie ever on the top 100 list. If we don't have Super Bowl aspirations this year and don't make it, there's something wrong. This team is loaded. I know it's young. I know there's still questions on our pass rush and defensive line, but I got to tell you, I feel good about the guys that are in there. But we have some playmakers now on the team like we haven't had before. We have a fantastic offense that's coming back young, healthy, and intact. And if we can't make some noise, if we can't win at least one playoff game, then we got some major changes that need to be made. And we all know, I think, some of these major changes should have been made. But hats off to Zeke Elliott, wearing Let Zeke Eat, because he's going to need to eat a lot next year. Hopefully he has a great season. Hopefully stays healthy. Hopefully stays out of trouble. Alan Sheets, how are you doing tonight? Raymond, Juicebox Hero. Odell is a top 5. Oh, yeah, well. Here's the thing about Odell Beckham. Don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted. I believe the guy has tons and tons of talent. You can't argue with what he can do on the field when his mind is in it. But the problem is with Odell, a lot of times Odell, he loses focus. A lot of times he'll make some plays that are going to cost the team. He certainly lets Josh Norman get into his head. And Josh Norman pretty much kind of owns him. And it's not that Josh Norman has more talent than him, because Odell should just be blowing him away. Odell just lets it get in there and he tries to be the little scrapper. I don't know what it is that Josh Norman keeps saying to him, but you can piss him off. And that lets every cornerback know in the NFL. You can talk enough trash to him to get him off his game. Now, when he's on his game and focus, he can beat anybody. But it's not always the case. And the thing that bothers me is this. Like Jimmy Johnson said, if you're going to talk the talk, walk the walk. I have a problem with somebody who wants to promote themselves and say, look at me, congratulate how great I am when things are good. But when things aren't going well, it's kind of like, next question. I don't remember. Or you're out in the hallway crying or putting your hand through a wall. You can't have it both ways. If you want people to talk about you when you're doing good, you're going to get them to talk about you when you're doing bad. That's the nature of the beast. And you got to have a thick enough skin and be mature enough that you're not going to hurt your team. And Odell has hurt his team on many occasions. You know, when you got him over there getting his ass kicked by the kicking net, dude, and then proceeding to make a spectacle of it where he's proposing to it, making out with it. I mean, you know, it's kind of creepy, to be honest with you. So we'll see. You need a refill. Oh, we all need a refill. Jackie, thank you. Joe Boo definitely needs a refill, and I need a refill. And if you got your shot glass, I hope you're pouring one too. We're starting off the week. Monday is in the books. And if that's not something to celebrate about, I don't know. So hats off to you guys. And hopefully some of you guys started getting your shirts and stuff today. They're all in the mail, the ones that have been ordered. And I appreciate all the support that you guys have been giving me and things like that. We are working on the Joe Boo Man Cave, and we are definitely going to be working on getting out to Oxnard. We're definitely going to be working out on getting to some of the games and tailgating and stuff so we can have a great time. What am I drinking? We actually have, this is actually Zaya's rum. It's actually really, really, really good, nice, smooth rum here that you can kind of sip on. And that's what Joe Boo's drinking. I'm actually drinking some coffee cream and a little Kahlua, which interestingly enough, it's actually made out of rum as well. So definitely a rum man here, thanks to good old Joe Boo. Yeah, Eric, you definitely have to have rum. Well, fresh 914. Here's what I think about our D-backs. I put a video out a little earlier about somebody was saying that one of the worst moves the Cowboys made was letting Morris Claiborne go. And I got to tell you, anybody who can stay healthy for more than 7 games already is doing better than Morris Claiborne. But I think these guys are going to be young. I think they're going to be scrappy. They're going to make some mistakes. But you're going to see a lot of true athletes. Brandon Carr was consistent. He just wasn't a great shutdown corner like the money that he got paid. He was never going to live up to that contract. And he wasn't a playmaker.
One hell of a job. And the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?
Thank you, Jesse, very much for contributing to the Joe Boo Sports Fund. Hope that we have, definitely, you know what? The fact that I wake up in the morning and have a job to go to and can get there, it's already been a great day and a great week. I hope to definitely hear some good news on our rookie D-backs. Now, something interesting enough, I read an article today about Byron Jones, and I've said this a couple of times that I really want to see Byron Jones step up and become a leader on the team, because that's the one thing that's kind of missing, and that's one of the reasons why I talked about Richard Sherman. You can't argue with Sean Lee's ability and his quiet leadership. Sean Lee, very rarely will you see him in an interview. And when he does an interview, he looks like literally he would rather be anywhere but doing that interview. He's got that cold stare like, I just want to go knock the fuck out of somebody. Excuse my language, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to cuss on here. But that's the way Sean Lee is. And you don't see him being a rah-rah guy out there. He'll go out there and lead by example. But I would like to see Byron Jones take on that leadership role. You know, you've got Orlando Scandrick, who's older, but you've got Byron Jones, who's that safety, probably will still stay at safety. But you need him to be that vocal guy and that leader for everybody to kind of follow and rally behind. I'm hoping to see that. But we'll see what happens when the season goes on. I think with like Xavier Woods, I think that he is a guy, he's probably not going to be starting, but he's a playmaker. You'll see him out there on dime coverage and things like that, and nickel coverage. But he is a playmaker, and that's what I like seeing, the guys that we have that are playmakers, something we haven't had in a while. You have your own little impersonator. Okay, Cruising. You know, it's amazing how the Eagles and Giants guys are on here as much as our Dallas Cowboy fans. And I welcome fans from all the teams and definitely enjoy debating with you guys. Although I didn't actually read all of it. I started to, just didn't have enough time. But somebody wrote this thing about the Dallas Cowboys were going to be a dumpster fire, why they were. And I got to tell you, Eagles, it'd be one thing if you guys had a good season last year, but you guys were in the basement. How is it you feel that you can talk about somebody else? And that's what I was kind of talking about. Reasons I hate Philadelphia. Now, don't get it wrong. I have some Eagle friends. They're good people. They just have a little problem. They're Eagle fans. Tom Donnelly, somebody we're definitely going to have on the show some more, so we have some red meat, to mess with. Because Tom is, always you Cowboy fans and, you you Giant fans and everything else. He's funny. But you Eagles, you did a great job with the draft. I appreciate that. I'm glad that I got out alive. But dudes, you ain't got no space to talk about anybody. I mean, I know the Dallas Cowboys haven't won anything since '95. But do you realize, Eagle fans? In fact, let me talk to you a little up close and personal, Eagle fans. Eagle fans, do you guys realize that doormats of the NFL, and I'm talking about the original bag over your head team, the New Orleans Saints, have won a Super Bowl? Do you realize that the creamsicle Tampa Bay Buccaneers have won a Super Bowl? That the New York Giants have won 4 Super Bowls? And even the dumpster fire that is the Washington Redskins, even they got 3. But here's the real kicker. Think about this one. The Ratbirds, the Baltimore Ravens have 2. And you do realize they used to be the Cleveland Browns. So, Eagle fans, if I were you, I would just be quiet in the basement until you actually have something like a Super Bowl ring to talk about. I hate to put it like that, and I'm not one to talk trash. Okay? That's not me. That's not my game. My game is to spread the mojo and the good news vibrations and being positive. However, if you come at me, I'm going for the jugular. So anyway, Robert A. Man, dumpster trash. New Orleans Aints. The real a-hole. Okay. Oh, I don't know where. Here's the interesting thing about chlorine bleach. He is from Dallas, and he's a Giant fan. Poor little Eagles. You feel bad for them? Just a little bit, Sarah? You feel just a little bit bad for them? Okay. Somebody killed Clorox bleach. Ooh, maybe he drank some Clorox bleach. Zeke should have been 4th. Well, truth be told, listen, he was a rookie. Nobody as a rookie has been anywhere close to that high. So, give him something to shoot for next year. Well, here's the thing. Everybody wants to know, how are the D-backs going to do? And I say that the D-backs will do as well as the defensive line. I have been preaching forever that we need pass rushers. We've tried we tried with Demarcus Lawrence. He had, first year, injured most of it, did really well against the Lions in the playoffs. Second year, played really well. Third year, suspension, injuries, 1 sack. Randy Gregory, you know how that worked out. He's still technically on the roster, but, because he got high, that didn't work out. Now, We did get lucky with Collins. Collins could be headed for a breakout year, and he's actually one of the guys that I am really feeling strong about. As a defensive tackle, to do what he did as a rookie, very quietly. So look for a great push from him. Hate the fact that David Irving will probably be suspended 2 or 4 games, and that's going to kind of slow down his progress. Although, if you look at what he did last year, he came on as the season went on. Maybe we'll get lucky and we get fresh legs in there after week 4, and he could kind of make it push on there. Taco, it's hard for a rookie to make a big impact as a defensive end, defensive lineman. It just usually doesn't happen. If he gets 5, 6 sacks, it's considered a great season for a rookie pass rusher. So we have some decent parts. But if those guys, if we can get a Tyrone Crawford to give us some valuable minutes and stuff and not, that shoulder's not injured. If we can get DeMarcus Lawrence to get back to where he was 2 years ago. If we get a pass rush, it will make all the difference in the world for these rookies. I'm telling you that a defensive back, I don't care if it's Dion, if he has to hold up like they had to in against Green Bay, 6, 7, 8 seconds, the receivers, somebody's going to be open. Sorry, just flat out. But if we get that push, if we can get to the quarterback in 2, 3 seconds, it makes it that much easier for the defensive backs, and that's what we truly need. Rod Marinelli did not blitz a lot last year. I think his thing was, I'll go ahead and rush the guys. I've got 4 guys, and I will keep as many people in coverage as possible and hope that we can cover everybody. And it worked well for the most part, but we couldn't put enough pressure on the elite quarterbacks. And we have a lot of elite quarterbacks that we will face this year. We got Matty Ice. We got, Kirk Cousins. Eli Manning can still do damage with the receivers he has, even though he's not elite to me anymore. Carson Wentz may be improved. He's got Jeffries now as a wide receiver. You're going to end up having Aaron Rodgers. You got Russell Wilson. You've got Derek Carr. So you've got some good quarterbacks out there that can light up the scoreboard. So we have got to have a pass rush. Dak should have been 7 and Zeke should be 3. Well, I got to tell you, to have 2 rookies in the top 20, I'm happy about that. I look at everybody that we have on the list there. Every one of them are actually pretty young guys. So, feel good about where we are with this team. Robert, I don't agree with you on that one. Robert thinks that Zeke should get 2,000 yards this year. And I kind of pointed out last week about the problem with running backs when they hit that 2,000-yard mark. Usually, they're never the same again. They never get anywhere close to that. You're basically wearing them out. And I'm not looking to go ahead and just say, hey, Zeke is the all-time leading rushing, single-season rusher. I want to see him have 4 or 5 rings, more so than having a rushing record. Yeah, he's definitely good, Robert. Yeah, Fishful 1996 was a long time ago. Yes, it was. But the good times are coming. I can't say that we'll win a Super Bowl this year, but you look at the young talent we put on the field, we will get there soon. Now, that would be even better. How about them Cowboys? And don't worry, I haven't forgot about you, man. I have been working some long, long hours. I get up early in the morning. That is going to be coming. I've got some more stuff I got to drop in the mail tomorrow. But yeah, to see Zeke with 1,000 yards rushing, 1,000-yard receiving, I could go for that. Shout out from the UK. Well, thank you, Danny. I'm glad, man. We got a couple of you guys from England. Mark is also from England as well. And then we have Sven, who's also from Germany. So shout out to Europe. Eric, I would love to see Zeke as next Marshall Faulk. That would be incredible to me. Corey, I'm hoping that at least by 2020 we win a Super Bowl. I'm hoping it's sooner than that. Okay, so the Giants are 3-0 the last 3 times they met the Cowboys. Yeah, well, the tide is about to turn, buddy. I don't want to say I guarantee that first game, but I think the Dallas Cowboys are definitely focused in on getting the Giants. So you guys can talk all you want. Have a good time with it. You did get those 2 victories. hats off to you. But that seems to be your only battle cry for last year. Well, West Junior, I don't, so far you're hearing all the great stuff about Rico Gathers, but, until they get the pads on and get out there playing, we'll have to wait and see. I hope that he could be the next big. We don't talk about our wideouts a lot. Well, you don't need to talk much about Dez Bryant. I got to tell you, I think Dez is gonna have a fantastic year with Dak and him working this whole offseason together. The way that they became better and better as the season went on. First half of the season, you kind of saw Dez not really catch a whole lot of balls from Dak, and just kind of looked like they were just like in two different worlds. But by the time we got to the midpoint of the season and going through the playoffs, you could see more and more confidence. And believe it or not, those last 8 games of the season, Dez averaged almost 18 yards per reception, which is higher than he has had ever in his career. In fact, his whole season was the highest yards per reception that he's ever had. So look for them to continue with that. And now that we've had a whole offseason where Dak is the starter and he's getting all the reps, you can guarantee that they've opened up that playbook and they're working on more things to really stretch out that field. They were at first trying to make sure they're doing high percentage passes and things like that to make sure they kept his confidence and things up, not knowing how he's going to react being a Dallas Cowboy, because you've got AT&T Stadium rocking, Sunday. You're on, every station in the world. Everybody in the world is watching you. You don't know how that kid is going to react. So you're going to try and keep it so it's simple, it's easy, and you can make some small victories to feel good about yourself, that you don't mess up the confidence. Because once that confidence is messed up, all of a sudden it just snowballs and just rolls right on downhill. Odell has butterfingers. Okay. Oh, there's chlorine bleach. Okay, so he didn't drink the bleach after all. Eli will win his 3rd ring. Yeah, okay. I will bet you again, chlorine bleach. Okay, this is better than your prima donna. Well, we'll see about that one. If Dez is focused and Dez is healthy, definitely would be a shootout between him and Odell. I agree with you, Alan. I think that you're going to see a lot from Dak Prescott. Here's the thing that I love about Dak overall is that Dak is not arrogant. Dak's a leader. He's a take charge guy. But he's not like RG3 where, he's like, I'm up here and the rest of the team is down here. He's like a regular lunch pail type of a guy. And what's interesting is all of a sudden, for whatever reason, he's beginning to get recognized, really recognized. In fact, when you start looking at Vegas, their MVP odds, they got Dak at 4. At 12-1 odds of being MVP. They've got Zeke at 7, I think at 20-1 odds. To take a guy that a lot of people say is just a dink and dunk quarterback and only is doing good because of an offensive line, the fact that he's behind Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, and Derek Carr for MVP right now, it's pretty good. After 2014, after the season Tony Romo had, Vegas did not have him in their odds there. Not in the top 10. So he's in pretty rare air. You got to love the fact that he's done his 3 different youth camps with over 3,000 participants. And I've been around a lot of really good. Oh, there we go.
One hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?
Thank you, Lewis. I appreciate that. So far, all quiet on the free agency front. And I think what the Dallas Cowboys are doing, they are waiting and seeing what's going to happen because, right now teams are kind of in their offices. They're the last push and stuff before training camp. They're trying to figure out which guys are going to be there. And if it's like a really good player, they're generally going to try and hold on to as long as possible because they don't want them to go to a rival. So we'll have to wait and see who's out there. But they are, don't worry about being late, Jamaris White. I'm glad that you came through here. Welcome to the show tonight. They're waiting to let some of these guys go because you're going to see a lot of quality guys that are going to be on the market. And don't be surprised when the Cowboys start bringing some other guys in. And I still feel like there's one big move still left. I don't know what it is, but I still feel like the Cowboys feel like they're close enough. I mean, just close enough that one really good player could tip the scales in the balance of power towards the Dallas Cowboys. Well, say, man, we've always been really good on the road, which is kind of amazing. And I think part of that is because Jerry Jones has built an incredible stadium. Because if you're a fan of another team and you want to go to a road game, do you want to go to Philadelphia? No, you might get your ass kicked. Do you want to go to that toxic dump, FedEx Field? No chance, man. That's one of the worst stadiums in the NFL. Do you really want to go to New York and listen to all those New Yorkers with their accent out in the frickin' Meadowlands? No. Where you want to go is AT&T Stadium. You want to see that 60-yard television screen. You want to see the women dancing in the cages. You want to see the band. You want to see the action. You want to be in Big D. And with that happening, even a lot of our own fans, there's so much stuff to do, you forget there's a game going on. See, when you go to Oakland, that's the only thing there is a football game. So you're going to be rowdy and you're going to be cheering about the football game. You go to AT&T, excuse me. You go to AT&T, you can be in the club, you can be in the restaurant, you can be all over the place. And, oh, yeah, I forgot. There's a football game, isn't there? So that's one of the reasons why we do better on the road. Because we got so many Cowboy fans, I think we actually have more of a home field advantage on the road than we do at home. Dak is underrated. Well, I'm hoping that Dak has that chip on his shoulder and does what he has done all his career, which is every year get better and better and better and just silence the critics. Oh, Vito. Damn, that's cold. I can't even read that. Trolls in the chat. We always have some trolls in the chat, and I don't mind them. Because what'll be interesting is as soon as you beat their team, you won't see them anymore. The over or unders on Rico Gathering having 4 touchdowns. I'll take the over on that one. Okay, you got all kinds of stuff on here, so kind of watch your language if you can, people, please. I don't mind trash talking, but let's kind of keep it on the tame side because we do have some younger viewers that are in here as well. Yeah, it seems like we do have a lot of trolls tonight. Osama bin Laden, my Eagles will go 13-3. Okay, all righty, interesting. We'll get back to you on that one. I agree with you, Jamal Willis. Now, I will say, New York isn't the worst stadium I've been to. That's actually not a bad one. The link, I'm not that crazy about. It's just kind of funny the way the bleachers don't all kind of, it's like they're separated. It's kind of strange. FedEx has got to be the worst with the obstructions in over 5,000 of the seats. And when you're in that center section in the lower level and it's like a cave because the upper decks come down. So when the punt goes off, you can't even see the ball go up. So that's got to be one of the worst ones. Dallas is a better city than New York. I'll take Dallas anytime. New York is just too many damn people. Giants, the Donald. What is this? This is Political Central now? We got the Donald. We've got Cruisin'. We've got Osama bin Laden. Who opened up the floodgates with you guys? Eagles will go 9-7, no bias. Appreciate that, Lacey. Keith Smith, I don't know. I'm going to have to look into that one more. Josh Norman's booty. Okay. Yeah, the trolls are definitely tripping tonight. The Donald. Okay, secret Cowboys fans. I like that. But do we have any football questions instead of trash talking tonight? What I think about? Oh, that's another one of those ones that I didn't get to. Losing Doug Free. I honestly think that with Doug Free gone, Doug Free was always a good tackle, but his skills kept eroding each year. You know, there was in his younger years he actually split time with another tackle because he kind of had a time, where he just couldn't get it done. Last year we saw a lot of the Ole blocks that I like to call them because it's kind of like the guy goes past you, kind of going Ole like it's a bull. He had a lot of penalties, false starts, or holding that were at the worst time. We're making a big play 30 yards downfield with Zeke, and all of a sudden, boom, we get a call back for holding and offsides. So I think Collins is going to be a big, big improvement. He's athletic, and he's going to be able to take on that speed rusher a lot better than Doug Free will. So I feel good about that change. I feel that our offense is actually going to be better. Offensive line will be better this year than it was last year. Okay. The trolls making homosexuals look good. That's true. That's true. That's true. Victor, shout out to New Mexico to you, buddy. Um, well, Jackie, don't worry about the Falcons did was copy. Okay. I don't think, personally, I think that Atlanta's going to have that Super Bowl hangover. Losing that game the way they lost it, I mean, that can affect. I mean, you think about Seattle and how they've been dealing with the emotions of their loss against New England, where it was at least a close game. Those guys were up 28-3 and lost the game. There's some finger pointing and bad feelings in there where guys were thinking, we got this. And all of a sudden, it's gone. And the thing about Atlanta is one of those up and down teams on a yearly basis. And I think that next year it's going to be a down year for them. I could be wrong, but statistics will tell you that the losing Super Bowl teams, it's been, 40 years since one has actually gone to the Super Bowl and won after losing the year before. So the odds are kind of stacked against them. And every year, half the teams that made the playoffs this year won't make it next year. And I'm thinking that the New York Giants are going to be one of those teams. Well, Juan, I agree with you on that. I talked about this before, about how when you play in the Hall of Fame game, you actually are reporting to camp and having a few more practices more than everybody else because you have that game. And with us having a team that is so young, that's going to pay dividends because they're going to get that extra work in, they got that extra game and everything else. Because none of the starters, you're not going to see Zeke, you're not going to see Dak, you're not going to see Dez Bryant playing in the Hall of Fame game. It's going to be all these young guys that definitely can use every bit of work that they can get. And that's one of the great things for us. In past years, we haven't had the rookies report early. They've reported with the veterans. Well, this year they're reporting to the Star 3 days before the team goes out to Oxnard to start getting some early work on it. So they realize that if we're going to be successful this year, these rookies are going to play a very important part. So we've got to get them up to speed as soon as possible. Welcome to the Cowboys. Get them coached up and get them ready to roll. I would kind of disagree with you, Blue Stars, on Terrence Williams because Terrence Williams has had some really, really good games. And the thing that Terrence Williams did really well was when Tony Romo had to improvise and is running around all over the place, him and Terrence Williams had a great repertoire. Terrence Williams will never be a number one receiver, but he is a damn good number two, and we are fortunate that we signed him for that $17 million. He could have easily gotten $6 or $7 million a year on the open market, but I actually think it was a better move bringing him back. Ooh, how about them Cowboys going after chlorinated bleach? Well, Sam, I got to tell you, I think we're definitely going to have a good linebacking crew. I can't wait to actually see Jaylon Smith out in pads. I'm hoping that this 5 weeks we have between mini camp and before camp starts, that all of a sudden that ankle, that those nerves just really just take a whole nother leap forward. If he can get some more movement out of that foot, he's been moving pretty well. You can still kind of see that drop foot and where that brace is kind of pulling back up. If he can really get some movement on there, that guy could be a hell of an impact player for this defense. Memories of hitting the sled. Oh man. Oh, my memories. Jeez. Um, I got to tell you, football is so different today. For us, geez, we would have a morning practice, then we'd have weightlifting, then we'd have a special team practice, then we'd have an evening practice, and all of them were with full pads. The first week, first 5 days were shorts and helmet. After that, it's all straight up pads, and we were hitting live and hitting that damn sled. Oh God, we had the 2-man sled, we had the 7-man sled, and then we had the monster, and the monster was a tackling machine. It was spring loaded. It was a big round pad that comes flying at you about 40 miles an hour, and you had to literally hit it and then drive it back to get it caught in the spring. And man, sometimes you'd see some of those young guys hit that sucker and get flown off of it. So it was totally different. I remember what I know now versus what we knew back then. We had just started being able to have water breaks. That's how old I am. They didn't think that drinking water, if you had to drink water in practice, it was because you were weak. That's the mentality they had. But I can think of 4 instances in practice that I got a concussion. And literally, it was like, get helped up, shake it off, and you're right back on the field. Especially at JMU. Oh my God. If you've ever heard about a blue dot hit, it's truly true. When I played at JMU, because I messed up my knee in high school, I didn't get a scholarship or anything like that. I was actually running track, throwing shot put, and running the 200, 400, and I was trying to become a decathlete. But I had one of the football coaches recruit me to play football, play nose guard. I was kind of small to play nose guard, and I had always played offense. And in practice, I just was literally just getting hit from everywhere. As a nose guard, which you don't see very much anymore, I'm getting hit by the center every play. If I wasn't getting hit by the center, he would go. I'd get hit by the guard from this side. If he didn't hit me, it was the guard from the other side. If he didn't hit me, it was a running back coming up from here. So literally, my head's on a swivel. I'm getting hit. I'm getting hit. Getting hit. Just getting knocked the fuck all over the field. And I'll remember this play to a point. I remember the center goes here. So I look over here at the guard. The guard goes back to the linebackers. So I'm looking over here for the other guard to see if he's trapping. He's not coming. I'm standing in the middle, and I'm looking back, and there's Warren Marshall running at me with the football. And I'm thinking in my mind, I'm going to tackle somebody. And I stood up in the hole. And it was about that time that Adam Burkett, about a 300-pound, 6'2" tackle, came and literally hit me in the ear hole and launched me over there. And I remember waking up with the coach over top of me. He says, never stand up in the hole. And when I turned my head, I could literally feel my brain wasn't moving with the rest of it. And I saw blue spots. Got to get a cup of water, and then we were back out on the field. So football has definitely changed with the whole protocol with concussions and things like that. I'm glad to see it because we start seeing and hearing about my childhood heroes and things like that that are suffering with dementia or are dying and having CTS and stuff like that. I'm hoping they'll figure out ways to make football safer for these guys because what they do on Sundays is unbelievable. It's for our entertainment, but they are physically taking abuse weekly, and they are messing up the quality of life and possibly shortening their lives for our enjoyment. Now, they're getting paid very well for it, but in the end, what is money worth if you don't know who you are? Um, well, you could say Zeke should be in the top 5. I'm happy that he's 7 at least because, hey, he's a rookie. Well, the thing with trolls is if you feed the trolls, they're going to stay there. After a while, they get tired if you don't end up playing with them. Daniel's in need of some strong rum. Okay. Well, Eli is definitely a turnover machine, without a doubt. Well, it's interesting that everybody thinks that Derek Carr is so far and away better than Dak Prescott. But Derek Carr, for whatever reason, they always say, oh, well, Derek Carr will take more chances. He'll throw the ball downfield. But here's the thing. Turnovers can be game killers. We've seen that over and over again. Think back a few years ago when we were playing Denver. Tony Romo had the game of his career throwing the ball at 500 yards. But in the end, that last interception is what killed us. Alan Sheets, I'm glad you got your rum. Do you have your Jobu shot glass to go with it? Winston and Dak. Oh, wow, Daniel. Okay. So, Daniel, you just don't have any reality sense whatsoever. um, the most overrated team in sports. Okay, well, Hollyways, we'll see what happens next year. You know, everybody is 0-0 right now. It's a new season. What happened last year doesn't mean anything. It's what you do this year from this point forward. Oh, no, Corey, I don't want to be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. No, thank you. Um, Remember Cowboys? Okay, Byron Jones on NFL Network at 11 p.m. Okay. Well, Chlorine Beach, the Giants certainly aren't America's team. Now, Jack, don't be cold, man. Don't use that kind of language. Well, Fishful, I hate to agree with you about New England, but New England, they're a well-run organization. They've learned the secret of staying good every year. One, be in a crappy division where all your teams suck. Two, don't overpay for free agents. Three, stockpile as many draft picks as possible. And when somebody wants to get paid, trade in Cleveland so you can get some more high draft picks. Simple as that. Everybody on that team is expendable except for Tom Brady. Now, it's going to be interesting to see what happens because in the course of the next couple of years, Tom Brady's going to hit the wall. And all of a sudden, it's just going to go off a cliff. Now, the question is that going to be this year, next year, or the year after? But when you're getting around 40 years of age, there's not too many quarterbacks that have done a whole lot. ISG, Switzer, or Beasley? How about both? I can see actually double slot formations and stuff, and them doing crossing routes over the middle. That'll be deadly. Just picture this now. Picture Zeke Elliott and the offensive line showing motion to the left. Okay, so everybody's driving to the left. You got Zeke doing like a Z move where you're going to the right and then coming back, bending it back, right? That's getting all the flow going to the left side. Your defense is trying to go with that, thinking that's where Zeke's going. You get Dak Prescott rolling out. You get Cole Beasley and you get Switzer crossing in the middle. You're talking about 6 all day long. They will trap everybody in the middle because they'll get lost in the wash. Do I like Stephen A. Smith or Skip Bayless? I got to be honest with you. I really don't like Skip Bayless. Stephen A. Smith, I've met him. Actually, I've met both of them. I've met him, and more of his hate for the Dallas Cowboys is he realized where he can get his bread and butter. You talk about the Dallas Cowboys and everything else, you're going to get a reaction. Either Cowboy fans are going to be mad, or people who hate the Cowboy fans are going to be happy. But either way, everybody's talking about you. In fact, I still believe that Stephen A. Smith is a closet Cowboy fan. So as long as you understand what you're getting, okay. But sometimes I feel like Skip Bayless, after the whole Troy Aikman is gay thing that he tried to do way back when and some of the other stuff, he seems more like a guy who pours gasoline on a dumpster fire, And sometimes it's like, you don't need to go there with some of the stuff that you do. So I'm not a big fan of Skip Bayless. The Packers as America's team, I mean, they were known as Title Town and everything else, because they beat us in the Ice Bowl and yada yada. But I don't think the Packers are America's team. No. You got that right. Win or lose, haters are definitely going to hate the Dallas Cowboys. Well, Green Dan, you're right. But it's not just going to be our rookie corners because we do still have some veterans that are going to be out there as well. We got Orlando Scandrick, who I think is definitely on a mission. That knee is healed up. He wasn't quite fully recovered last year, and it really takes more than a year for your knee to heal. I can tell you that from personal firsthand experience and stuff, and even my knee is still not healed as long ago as that was. But you got Byron Jones that's going to be there. You've got Anthony Brown, and I think Anthony Brown is going to be in a starting role. So you're looking at these guys more being in nickel coverage as opposed to starting. Although you never know, you might end up getting another Anthony Brown out of one of the guys out there. We'll just have to wait and see. But again, I'm sorry, guys. I get up at like 4:30, 4:45 in the morning, and so it ends up being a really long day. So forgive me yawning with you guys. How can Jason Garrett improve? God, I tell you how Jason Garrett can improve. We'll get him. I actually sent one of these to Dallas. Coaching for Dummies. In it, you'll learn things about running the football when you have a lead. When to call a timeout. When to spike a ball. This is how Jason Garrett can definitely improve. Learn to relax when the playoffs come around. Because we always do great regular season for the most part. But for whatever reason, when the game is on the line, Tom Brady is number one. Yeah, Tom Brady, number one. EDP says hi. Oh, okay. I did mention EDP in a video earlier. Actually, I mentioned Philadelphia when I was talking about Eagle fans and stuff. I ain't mad at EDP. He's figured out what works for him, and that's being an angry Eagle fan. And he's definitely got a lot of anger there. Eli is number one. Chlorine Beaks, honestly, do you really think, and I mean, I'm being serious with this question. In fact, chlorine bleach. This is a serious question here. Do you really believe that Eli Manning is an elite quarterback? Now, I mean, with as many fumbles, and I believe he had 7 this year, and interceptions 16, and it's not like you can't say he didn't have elite wide receivers because he's got a top 10 one in Odell Beckham. He had Sterling Shepard. He had Victor Cruz, Mr. Salsa Dancing. Now, I will say that it is Joe Boo's fault about the salsa not dancing anymore in New York. Ever since Joe Boo met him there at training camp in 2013, he just hasn't been the same. But honestly, do you really feel that Eli Manning is a top 10 quarterback? And that's just honest, straight up question. To me, he gets a lot of yards, but that's because you can't run the ball. But he has a lot of turnovers, and I don't think he's elite anymore. But hey, what do I know? I'm a guy with a day job and a voodoo doll. So chlorine bleach. Okay, so you're not even an objective fan. I will at least go ahead and be an objective, or at least I try to be objective. I will tell you that our coach sucks, flat out. I have very little confidence in him. I'm hoping that he'll do better, but I'm going by what has happened in the past. We've had too many big games that win and we're in, or win and we keep going on. And for whatever reason, the team just can't seem to do it. And I look back at some of the mistakes that we've had. I mean, icing our own kicker. I mean, being up twice big against the Lions and making Bobby Carpenter look like he's all pro. Being up 26-3 at half against the Green Bay Packers. Not Green Bay Packers with Aaron Rodgers, mind you. Matt Flynn, I believe it was the quarterback. And we lost. How do you lose 26-3? All you got to do is run the ball 3 plays and punt, and they won't have enough time to come back. But yet, we threw the ball more than the team that's trying to come back. Does that make sense to you? So I'm hoping that Jason Garrett is reading the book, taking some hints, understanding that when we got to the playoffs, you keep the formula that got you to the playoffs, and that is running the ball, slowing the game down, giving the other team less opportunities instead of lighting the ball up. But hey, what do I know? I'm a guy with a voodoo doll and a day job. Dak is the next Troy Aikman. I would love to see that. Eli the Pop Man. Okay. Chlorine bleach. I'm not sure that Eli is a Hall of Famer. I know he's got 2 rings, but it was your defense. And I'll be honest with you, I saw the last 2 Super Bowls that you guys were in live. And you can't say that Eli Manning won those games. It was really your defense. Now, I know that pass to the guy's helmet, of course, will always be there. And the touchdown pass after that, yeah, those were great. But really, it was the defense that got to Tom Brady that won those. But that's my opinion. Yeah. Well, at least for Eli, he can go home and say, I got those 2 rings. Well, actually, Peyton's got the 2 as well. So, he's 6 in yards because you guys couldn't run the ball at all. But look at, we'll see. We'll see on that one, though. I wouldn't bet money on Eli being into the Hall of Fame. To Cowboys Nation, your love. Continue to support our boys. Our season is exciting, and these trolls will be off the chat. Well, of course they'll be off the chat. When the Cowboys are winning, you won't be able to find them. I won't quite say that Dak is better than Brady yet. Let's give it some time. Eli will get his 3rd ring. Wow, Chlorine Bleach. Okay. Hey, Chlorine Bleach, are you really Eli Manning? Seriously? How much I really believe Witten has in the tank? You always think that Jason Witten is done, but speed has never been Jason Witten's thing. Jason Witten has always been a fantastic blocker and has a way of finding the soft spots in the middle and always seem to be open. I don't care, who's covering him. It's never been about speed. So, yeah, I still think he still can be productive. How many games am I going to go to? I'm going to try and go to at least 4. We'll see how it goes between my job and how much money I have, because I basically have to fly to Dallas every time. But I'm going to try and go to 4. Do I think Dez could be better than Julio this year? It's possible. I think Julio is still recovering from something right now. He should be ready for training camp, but he's still already a little nicked up. I'm with you, Sandman. Dude, over here to my right, I've got Super Bowl seat cushions. I have been blessed enough to have gone to the last 14 Super Bowls. And during that time, I have seen the Eagles. The Eagles I have seen live at a Super Bowl. Donovan McNabb throwing up on the field. I have seen the New York Giants beat New England twice. I've seen Tom Brady win Super Bowl after Super Bowl. I've seen the Green Bay Packers win. I've seen the Pittsburgh Steelers win the Super Bowl. I've seen the freaking Seattle Seahawks, the Denver Broncos, even the New Orleans Saints. How is it that my Dallas Cowboys over the last 14 years that I've been to Super Bowls haven't been to a single one? It is way, way beyond time for them to go back to the Super Bowl. I'm hoping that this year is the year. I feel like we have the pieces, we have the talent. I'm hoping we have the coaching that will get us there. Time will tell. But I can guarantee you one thing. It will be exciting watching our Cowboys. I should come to San Antonio for HorrorCon. Okay. I can't guarantee that I'll be able to do that one. Probably won't. Well, I don't know which. I don't know which games I'm going to go to in Dallas right now, just yet. I know I'll be at the Redskin game here. I always like going to the Redskin game in Dallas. That may be one of them. But I got to really look at the schedule. I'm hoping to be at the Rams game actually in Los Angeles, the second preseason game, the first real preseason game. Blue Stars, good night. See you next week. Jason Crawford, yeah, we talked about Zeke being 7 on the list, highest a rookie has ever been. I'm happy about that. All this excuse me, boy, my tongue is tied tonight. All these off-season awards is great, being the top 100, things like that, known as the best offensive line, rookie of the year, running back of the year. All of these things are great, but they really don't mean much. We need to get in the Super Bowl and get the ring. That's all that really, really matters. Matt, I'm going to try and make it in MetLife. I have been there 3 times. Fortunately, I've come out alive each time. Do I watch the CFL on ESPN? I have not been watching the CFL. Definitely, how about the Cowboys? I hope that we definitely be there. Sarah, Jackie, Letitia, Jose, Dan, Green, Jamal, Ramon, everybody, thank you guys for joining in tonight. It is going on 10 o'clock. I need to carry my old tired ass to bed because I got to get up in a few hours to go to work. Good channel, really bad team. Thanks, Fistful. I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to Joe Boo Sports Report. I want to thank you guys all for the super chats and supporting the show. And let me end with one thing here.
Well, that's a story.
Not that one. Right there. If you guys want to get the t-shirts, I've got picking up some more of them tomorrow. I've got large, medium, extra large, 2X, and some 3XLs. So if you want one of the t-shirts, go to Joe Boo's Man Cave, right there. Joe Boo's Man Cave, and not Joe Boo's. God, that's the old one. CowboyJoeBoo.com, and you can order one right there. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back in Friday night. We'll be one step closer to the beginning of training camp, and I just can't wait. Thank you guys for all being part of the Joe Blue Sports Report, even you trolls. Everybody have a great night and a great week.